All right, today we're going to dive into a really tough thought experiment. It's all about labor, choice, and ethics. And it's definitely one of those ideas that's designed to make you stop and question some really deep-seated beliefs about what makes a job right or wrong. Okay, let's just get right to it. Here's the solid, uncomfortable question at the heart of this whole thing. A prostitute versus a coal miner. I mean, on the surface, you couldn't imagine two more different professions, right? But the analysis we're digging into argues they have a ton in common, and it's pretty disturbing. So, where's the connection? What on earth is the common ground that links these two jobs? Let's lay out the basic premise of the argument. Now this is where it gets really interesting. This slide just strips away all the social labels and gets right down to the bone. In both cases, people are often selling the use of their body just to survive. Both face enormous, life-altering risks. And here's the kicker. Both often do it because they feel like they have no other real choice. So the big question is, why do we see one as socially acceptable, even noble, and the other as a moral failing? And that forces us to really look at this whole idea of choice, doesn't it? I mean, when someone is truly desperate, is their agreement to do a dangerous job actually free consent? I mean, let's start with the most basic ultimatum there is. For so many people, this isn't a theoretical choice. It's the reality they face every single day. And then you add this layer. Suddenly, it's not just about you. The options are framed like a choice, sure, but they're being driven by the most powerful kind of necessity imaginable, not by any kind of personal desire or ambition. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. When the circumstances of your life remove any other meaningful option, can we honestly call the decision you make a free choice? The argument here is no, you really can't. So it turns out this shared experience actually has a name: economic coercion. It's a really powerful idea because it messes with our whole concept of free will in the marketplace. Think about it. If saying no means disaster for you or your family, then your yes was never really voluntary to begin with. Okay, so if we can agree that both of these jobs can be a result of this kind of coercion, why on earth do we judge them so differently? Well, the analysis suggests it has less to do with how much harm is caused and everything to do with the kind of harm we're willing to look away from. This chart just lays it out so clearly. The harm from mining, it's slow, it's statistical, and hey, it produces something we all see as useful: energy. It fits so neatly into our story of honest hard work. Prostitution, though? Well, that harm feels immediate, it's intimate, and it produces pleasure, which our society has always had a really, really complicated relationship with. It directly challenges our social norms. And when you put it like this, man, the point gets even sharper. Both jobs involve selling parts of yourself, your physical, emotional self, to get by. The details are different, of course, but the fundamental trait is the same. You're sacrificing your body and your well-being for money. So this is where the whole argument really pivots. If our old way of judging these things is broken, then where should we be drawing our moral and legal lines? You know, for the longest time, the easy answer has been to just draw a simple, bright line in the sand. Sex work is over here in its own special category of bad, and all other types of work are over there. But is it? Is that what actually matters? This analysis is forcing us to ask, is the problem the act itself? Or is it the conditions that surround the act? Is that where the real ethics are? So, the argument goes, what if we used a totally different set of questions to decide if something is exploitative? Instead of asking what work is being done, we should be asking things like, how much real choice do the person have? What happens if they say no? Who is actually in control here? And maybe most importantly, who's getting rich and who's getting hurt? And wow, when you start using that standard, the world gets turned completely upside down. It suggests that a sex worker who has choices, safety, and control might actually be less exploited than a miner who is trapped in a dangerous job with no way out. It's not about the job title anymore. It's about power. It's about autonomy. All right, so all of this has been building to one final and honestly pretty tough conclusion. If we follow this logic all the way to the end, what's the real moral crime we should actually be worried about? After breaking it all down like this, the central point becomes really clear. By singling out one type of labor that makes us uncomfortable, we totally miss the bigger systemic picture of exploitation that we are all in some way a part of. The real villain here, the real immorality, is desperation itself. It's any system that profits from putting people in a position where they have to sell their health and their future just to survive, no matter what industry that's in. And so we're left with this one final, really uncomfortable thought. We like to tell ourselves that our moral lines are based on what's right and wrong, on what truly harms people. But what if they're not? What if we just draw the line based on our own convenience? We condemn the kinds of exploitation we don't benefit from, and we call the kinds that power our society honest work. And if that's true, yeah, that should probably bother all of us.